Call the meeting to order. We will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The clerk will take the roll.
Mr. Sextro.
Here.
Ms. McDaniel. Here. Mr. Stroh.
Here.
Ms. Walker-Smith. Here. Mr. Patterson. Here. Mr. Burke.
Here.
Where's the judge?
She's, well, let's just continue on. If she comes in, we can go.
We're all a little out of breath. We toured the Formica facility over in Evendale today at 6 o'clock, and we just got back. All right, let's move on to the Auditor of Hamilton County, Jessica Miranda. Please step up.
Willow's going to come up here and run this slideshow from here.
Thank you for allowing her to sit up there. I appreciate it.
So, Willow, I think it's like, see these little...
Yes, perfect.
Okay.
Awesome, thank you so much.
We're in the process of getting 2 new screens for behind us. So we have 2 in front and 2 behind us, and council will be able to see them for a change.
Yes.
2 new screens.
Well, good evening, honorable council folks of the village of Evendale, and thank you so much to the mayor and the administration for allowing me some time on your agenda this evening. My name is Jessica Miranda. I serve as your Hamilton County Auditor, one of the many executive offices in county government, and I am embarking on what I'm calling my auditor, if you will. And we're touring the entire county, about 46 different municipalities, villages, townships, cities, and giving them this exact presentation, not only to introduce myself to you if you don't already know me, but to introduce what our office does for our shared constituencies. And it's something you'll learn about me if you don't know already. Mayor Finan knows this because I had the honor of being sworn in by him in my original term in the State House. But different levels of government and the way in which we work together is very, very important to me. I think it's a very important partnership. Local government, county government, state government, and so forth needs to have so that we can all work well together, like I said, for our shared constituencies. So with that, I'm going to get into the PowerPoint presentation that I've brought, which, by the way, you all have a paper copy in front of you. You also have our brochure of all of the items that we offer in our office, as well as my business card and the business card of our Public Affairs Department, which I'd love to do a shameless plug and say that the Public Affairs Department in the Hamilton County Auditor's Office is the first of its kind and historic in nature. We actually have one now, and Willow Lopez, who's controlling the presentation tonight, is my community engagement coordinator, and she has been doing a phenomenal job in the County Auditor's Office, and she comes from federal government and former Senator Brown's office. So she's worked for various different levels of government and knows what we need to do to serve our constituents. So with that, a little bit more about me, just in case you don't know me. I had the honor and privilege of serving for 5.5 years in the Ohio State House, and I represented this very village, the village of Evendale, and a few others in what's the 28th district, or what was the 28th district before it was redrawn. So I'm very, very familiar with this village and very happy to be here amongst very familiar faces. And I will say, just to add some levity to the presentation, and Mayor Finan knows this well, serving 5.5 years in the Ohio State House is a lot like 50 years. So I am happy to be at the county level of government with a lot less stress and hopefully some more hair of my own that I get to keep. So moving into the next slide, Willow. Oh, and prior to my time in the State House, I served on my local school board. So I have local government experience, state government experience, and now county government experience. I want to talk a little bit about what the auditor's responsibilities are. A lot of folks have misconceptions of what the auditor does here in the county, so think of us as your chief financial officer for the county government. We keep tabs of the county budget. We are the ones writing all of the checks that are outgoing from the county, and we keep the books whole and, most importantly, transparent here in the county. And as you know, Hamilton County is the third largest county in the state, so we have a very, very large county government and love to help out in this fashion. We are also the real property assessor for the county, and we'll talk a little bit in the next slide about what our appraising schedule is, because we do have one coming up this year. But we get the task, the large Herculean task of appraising all residential, commercial, and agricultural and industrial property in the county, which is about 350,000 parcels countywide. Like I said, third largest county in the state, so we have a lot of work under our belt to do.
And you use an outside firm to do that?
For the mass reappraisal, yes, but inside the county auditor's office, we have a staff of about 88 civil servants. A lot of them are real estate certified appraisers.
Didn't know that.
And we are 1/3 of the county's Board of Revision. As you know, the County Board of Revision is the process for which constituents can file complaints if they do not agree with their home's assessed value that we have assigned to them. We are currently in a Board of Revision season right now. January 1st through March 31st of every year is the Board of Revision season, where it is open to file complaints. So we have done a lot of work on our website to make this portion, the Board of Revision portion of our website, much more clear and helpful to the residents of Hamilton County, including an entire video series that you can go and watch about what the Board of Revision is and that entire process. We're also 1/3 of the County Budget Commission. Our County Budget Commission works really closely with your finance folks here in the village to make sure your budgets are transparent to the people of Hamilton County. And we administer 3 very, very important programs, 2 of which are property tax relief programs as prescribed by the state, which is the homestead exemption and the owner occupancy credit. And then, of course, fun fact, we are the folks with which landlords are supposed to file their rental registration. Not a lot of folks know that, but by Ohio state law, if you are a landlord in the state of Ohio, you must file a rental registration form with your county auditor. And we would love to work with the village if you have your own program to make sure that both of our records match and that we're keeping it as transparent as we can for the people of Hamilton County. And then another fun fact, we are in charge of the dog licensing in the state. Again, we're in a dog licensing season, so if you have a canine friend, please make sure it is properly licensed. It's important because it's the law, but it's also important because if your canine friend gets lost, we want to make sure we get it back to the right family. We don't want it to end up at Cincy Animal Care. And then, of course, maybe perhaps one of my most favorite pieces of what we do in the county auditor's office is our weights and measures department. If you go and you pump gas, you'll notice that my name is on your gas pump on the seal. If you go to your local deli inside Kroger or whatever grocery store, you'll notice my seal is on every weight machine where you can weigh your produce and your fruits and veggies and your meats and cheeses. Why? My team has been there to make sure that those weights and measures systems are working accordingly for the people of Hamilton County. So think of this as our consumer protection branch, if you will, of the auditor's office. We are making sure that that gallon of gas that you're paying for is actually a gallon of gas, and that that pound of turkey that you're paying for is actually a pound of turkey, and you're not getting taken advantage of by the big corporations. And then, of course, there's this lovely book called The Ohio Laws and Administrative Rules. We have many, many other things we do that are located in that book, but I will not bore you with them tonight. I'll try to keep this presentation as succinct as I can so that you can get on with your regular meeting. All right, Willow, next one. Okay, so like I said, we are currently in 2 different seasons in the auditor's office. One is the dog licensing season, the other is the Board of Revision season. These keep our civil servants in the auditor's office very, very busy. But if you have any questions at all, please know that we run a very strict policy, an open door policy in the county auditor's office, and would love to help answer any questions you may have. And then just as a courtesy, we of course are not the county treasurer. We do not send out the property tax bills, but we do help prepare those for accuracy. So we have included the first half bills and their due dates down here on this chart on this slide for you. The Hamilton County Treasurer, who is the Honorable Jill Schiller, pushed back the property tax deadline this year, so that's why you see a difference in those dates, and everything is due at a later time. All right, next one, Willow, and I'm gonna grab my one. So I like to talk about what we do and what we don't do, to clear up any misinformation that you have heard out there in the community. So in the auditor's office, we are very, very proud to serve the community, but we certainly do not do it all. We do not collect the property taxes, as you just heard. That's our wonderful county treasurer, Jill Schiller. We do not manage deeds. That is our wonderful county recorder, Scott Crawley. We do not provide surveys and maps. That's our county engineer, Mr. Beck. And we certainly do not make abatement or tax policy. That is you all, duly elected officials here in local government, combined with our state lawmakers who get elected to serve us in the State House. With that said, we always like to make it a point to talk about the fact that the auditor's office works in values. We are subscribed and prescribed by law to appraise every parcel in the county to what's called fair market value. So however the market is performing is how the home values are going to perform in any given county in the state. We point this out because just because your home value goes up or down 5% does not translate to or mean that your property tax bill is going to follow that and go up or down 5%. It is a very complex formula that determines your property tax, and I'm happy to say that in a future slide we're going to talk about my favorite portion of our website, which is our beautiful pie graph that lays out everyone's property tax bill, and it tells you down to the cent where every penny of your property taxes are going, including, but not limited to, all of the approved levies in your municipality. Go ahead, Willow. With that, just to enhance that point, we have provided you with a 3-area comparison. So if you take a look at this next slide, you'll notice these are 3 areas within Hamilton County. We have pulled, this is an actual property, all of these are actual properties of like value. So each one of these parcels are valued at a little over $236,000. In the city of Cincinnati, that parcel value is paying a property tax liability of a little over $5,000. In Green Township, again, same parcel value, same likewise house or parcel, as I refer to it, is paying a property tax liability of a little over $4,000. And then last but not least, next door here in the city of Sharonville, same parcel, real property tax liability is a little over $3,000. So you can see just in this 3-area comparison of 3 different areas of the county, how different everyone's property tax bills are and how complex that formula turns out to be in different areas of the county. Next one, Willow. And again, transparency and accountability is something that's very, very important to us in your county auditor's office, so we always want to talk about any chance that we can, the reappraisal process, and what that looks like here in Hamilton County. We have 88 counties in this state. Not all of those counties are doing mass reappraisals or triennial appraisals at the same time. We are all on a different schedule or a staggered schedule across the state. And here in Hamilton County, just know that we are appraising properties every year based on permits. Permits from every municipality flow through our office, and that gives our appraisers the chance to make sure every parcel is accurate. Every 3 years, we perform what's called our triennial appraisal. That's the one that will be happening this year. And think of this one as more of a desktop review. We're not going boots on the ground, all appraisers out, third-party appraisers out in the field working on every parcel. We're doing a desktop review of the fair market sales in any given area. And then, of course, the mass reappraisal happens every 6 years. The mass reappraisal is the big one. We just went through the last one in 2023. And the next one will be coming up in 2029, or actually, Governor DeWine sent out a press release here in the last couple days, and ours is actually moving to 2030. So the next mass reappraisal for Hamilton County will be in the year 2030. And note to self, Willow will need to update that slide. All right, so a little bit about all of the things we do, culminating with the differences in properties, like properties across the county, and about our reappraisal process. Now I want to move into some more of the fun stuff. If you've been on our website lately, you have noticed that our website looks completely different. We had a longtime auditor in our county by the name of Dusty Rhodes who was very, very innovative for his time and put together what our website is today. And I am here to tell you that our website is the gold standard across the entire state of Ohio. We have other county auditors from across the state that call and ask us how they can get their website to look like ours. And we thank former Auditor Rhodes for all of his work that he poured into this, because it truly is a wonderful, wonderful resource, not only for real estate professionals, but for every constituent in the county and locally elected folks like you, and everywhere in between. We have so much information on our website, and I hope you get the chance to visit it if you don't already do that regularly. But just know that we are now in compliance with federal law. Our website is now completely accessible. You'll notice that in the bottom left-hand corner, there's a little body there that is an accessibility plugin. You can change our website into various different dyslexia fonts, various different colors for various different levels of color blindness, and so much more. We can also now translate our website into 100 different languages. And I know it's not the sexiest thing, but we actually have a search bar now. Believe it or not, that has been very, very helpful. So if you're looking for anything on the website, you can simply type it into the search bar and it'll bring it up everywhere it is mentioned on our website for you. And then again, I mentioned this a little bit at the top of the presentation, but we have completely revamped the Board of Revision portion of our website. Not only is there a complete video series of what the Board of Revision is, but there is a very, very helpful Q&A section on the bottom portion of this page. And then my favorite new add-in that we have added on this website is if you go to print out a complaint form to file a complaint at the Board of Revision, there will be a pop-up box that simply asks you, did you read the directions, yes or no? And you have to click yes or no. And I'm telling you right now, that has been so very, very helpful to us in the auditor's office for folks to read that and to learn a little bit more about that process before they get there and have to provide all of the evidence for which they're complaining. All right, last thing about the website, or I'm sorry, not the last thing, but just know that you can search every property, so every one of the 350,000 parcels we have across the county are completely searchable on our website. And you can find so much information there, including historic documents that go back to the beginning of when that parcel became a parcel, historic photos, maps, and, Willow, if you'll go to the next one, my favorite portion, which is the property tax or tax distribution tab on everyone's property. So you'll see that this is a beautiful, colorful pie graph. It breaks down every penny of where your tax liability is going for your property tax bill. And what you will notice most of the time on every parcel in this county and in every county across the state is that the largest portion of your property tax bill is going to what? Your local school district. Why? Because school funding is still unconstitutional in the state of Ohio. And that means it's over-reliant on our property tax system or our property tax payers. The burden is on us as property owners in the state of Ohio. So until that changes, that will remain the largest portion of anyone's pie graph on your property search tax distribution. All right. Rental registration, again, I touched on this at the top of the presentation, but please, my ask of you tonight is that if the Village of Evendale has your own rental registration program, let's work together to make sure that your records match our records. This is actually really, really important for fraud as well. We had a few folks get taken advantage of in the first year when I was appointed to this office. They were paying hefty sums of money, down payments, security deposits for a house that they thought that they were going to move into and rent, to find out that the person on the other line or the other end of the phone was not actually the landlord in the first place, and they got all of their money fleeced from them. So a really, really good function in our website is on every property summary page. It will clearly state whether or not that property is a rental property. It'll say yes or no, and then it'll have a hyperlink where you can pull up that rental registration form and make sure that the landlord you're talking to is the actual landlord on file to make sure you don't get taken advantage of in one of those rental scams. Okay, the second ask I have of you tonight is to help me help you advocate for what we need as Hamilton County residents at the state level. The state has passed a series of property tax bills. I will not call them property tax relief because we're still not sure what part or portion of the relief is going to come, but I'm here standing in front of you today as fellow elected officials telling you that the thing that would matter most to Hamilton County residents is to fix the homestead exemption. The homestead exemption is something that helps the folks who need it most in our county, those folks living on fixed incomes, our senior citizens, or our elderly Ohioans. Anyone who is 65 years and older can qualify for the homestead exemption, but there is an income requirement on the homestead exemption. It has moved up just slightly to $41,000, but the folks who need property tax relief the most are our senior citizens in our community. And I really wish that our state lawmakers would move one of the many bills that aim to address a fix or a betterment to give the homestead exemption the luster that it so very much lacks now. It's lost its bang for its buck, and that's displayed in the next slide that I have here for you. So this slide is very, very important to illustrate to you the number of individuals who are no longer receiving the homestead exemption in our county. Back in 2014, a little over a decade ago, the average home value here in our county was about $155,000. Folks who were on the homestead exemption were receiving $565 for their credit or their exemption off of their property tax bill. Cut to 2024, we have seen a 69% increase in home values. Home values now are about $262,000 on average, yet the homestead exemption has only increased 7.4%. and it has not been properly indexed for inflation. So the exemption that senior citizens are now getting, if they do still qualify now with this income requirement, is only $607. So you can see how this program has not only lost its luster, but it has lost its complete bang for its buck, and it is not once helping the folks that it once was here in Hamilton County. We have decreased the number of homestead exemption folks who actually qualify in our county. And hopefully here soon, hopefully I'm not announcing this before she gets a chance to announce it, but we have a certain lawmaker here that represents the west side of Hamilton County who's going to be introducing a bill to address and fix the homestead exemption on her side of the aisle as well. So I'm hopeful that something will come down from Columbus and happen to make this better. The next slide is simply just telling you why this is important for all of the reasons I have already outlined, but I don't have to tell you why our senior citizens are important folks in our communities all across this county and all across this state. They are pillars of our community, and we want them to be able to stay in their homes should they choose to stay in their homes. And the homestead exemption is the biggest thing that can help them do that. And we know that this comes with a price tag to the state budget, but that price tag is the same as a lot of things that was just passed in the biennial budget. So our folks deserve this, and I have been advocating for this. Our County Auditors Association of Ohio has been advocating for this. We have been in the hallways of the State House giving testimony after testimony after testimony. And if you can join alongside us and contact your state lawmakers, both your state reps and state senators, and even the governor, since the governor put together that property tax working group, that would be very, very helpful so we can all sing the same sermon to our state leaders to tell them what we need. All right, and lastly, the owner occupancy credit is the second property tax relief program that we run in the auditor's office. Again, both of these programs are prescribed by Ohio law, and then we run them as the administrative arm of government here in the county. And the owner occupancy credit simply says if you live in and own your home, you get a credit on your property tax liability. And we, as the county auditors of Ohio, have been working to make that better as well. That's in our four-pillared suggestion to the state lawmakers of what we should do right now that would provide the most property tax relief to Ohioans. And with that, I will go ahead and close out. The last slide in your packet may look like any closing slide of any PowerPoint presentation you've seen, but I will say this is very historic in nature as well, because you'll notice 4 social media handles. The county auditor's office is now on social media for the first time in county history, so it's pretty historic. If you don't know or like our pages already, please do so. We're on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and then, of course, every single video that we put on our website is on our YouTube page as well and accessible that way on that platform. And then, of course, our contact information there. We serve you in the county auditor's office, and we have civil servants that stand at the ready answering the phones, greeting you when you come into the office, and assisting you with anything you may need or any questions you might have. And again, very, very important to me, the relationship we have amongst the different levels of government so that we all make sure we're working in unison for the people of Hamilton County. So thank you all for having me and allowing me the time on your agenda. And Mayor, if anyone has any questions, I'm willing to entertain those.
Wasn't there also a new law passed that gave county commissioners the ability to deal with school taxes?
Yes, so,
You know, I think our county said, we're not messing with that.
yep.
Isn't that the result?
There were two provisions that they put into the biennium budget. One was to give county commissioners the authority to decrease their inside millage, if you will.
Yeah.
And then the other, that was the one that would have hurt municipalities and school districts across the county. The Cincinnati Public School District, had the county chose to go that path, would have lost $7 million and would have had that gap in their budget. So we did not do that here in Hamilton County, but those were provisions that were put into the biennium budget during the negotiation stages.
Anybody else have any questions?
Thanks for all the hard work. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much
I
for
appreciate
coming
your
out
service.
tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you all.
Very timely topic.
Thank you.
Very timely topic.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Okay. Next, we will have our law director and Mr. Lou Serkin, who are going to make a presentation on First Amendment rights. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Joining me, Mr. Mayor, will be partner Rob Linneman, who also worked on
Okay,
it.
I'm sorry, Rob, didn't, passed you over.
I don't think that mic is on, but there's a button right, no, there's a button right in front.
It's on.
Is it? Okay.
Just to introduce Mr. Serkin, Mr. Linneman, as you all know, we've retained them many months ago to help kind of take a comprehensive look at our First Amendment demonstration-related policies and make sure that we have kind of the most modern, up-to-speed version of that for the village. We've met several times together with chief and assistant chief, started looking at different facets of how that will be affected, village ordinances, policies, different things that we can look at regarding our specific municipal grounds that are controlled a little bit differently than the right-of-way. And so those kind of three components will ultimately result in a report down the line regarding all those things, but we just wanted to give an update tonight, kind of where we are at in the middle of that process.
Okay.
With that, Mr. Linneman.
Sure. Mr. Mayor, Council, thank you for your time tonight. Law Director Ryan, thank you for having us today. To recap briefly, the village engaged us for the purpose of conducting essentially a comprehensive review. Our review was with an eye towards public demonstrations in light of, all of this comes in the shadow of February 7th, 2025. In the big picture, we found that there really were no surprises. Your law director had identified some time ago a couple statutes that dealt with public demonstrations, regulations, and licensing, which tend to be the hotspot. And those were reported on, you may recall, in the way back in when 21CP issued its report. So on that front, there really were no surprises. We ultimately recommended to the law director that that those provisions be either amended or, maybe better yet, repealed entirely. They both deal with essentially members of the public seeking to use public space for whatever reason exclusively, and in some cases even controlling traffic. We also conducted, we also reviewed criminal statutes, and we found ultimately, I mean, the big picture here is that it's good news. We did not find any big major problems here, and in the criminal statute side, we found just a few provisions which could be subject to challenge, mainly in discerning intent in a criminal statute. We'd offer the same recommendations there. With both of those, we find them less problematic because in each case, I should say that these are all statutory provisions that frankly just aren't used much. They haven't come up much, so the issue hasn't arisen. But in each case, with a criminal statute, it's a little bit different too, because even if there can be multiple bases for the conviction in each case. So we offered the same recommendation that those could be either amended or in those cases we don't see the need for a repeal. There are just minor revisions that could take place. And then the third part of the analysis is a review of the police procedures which address each of those things. And we found in each of those cases, we found the police procedure as a whole with the help of Chief Holloway, that those function basically as they're intended to, where your village ordinances will provide general statutory guidelines. They provide the actual laws and the policies and training that the police department implements provide a granular level there. So they provide contour that really can mitigate some of the things that we found in the review of the ordinances. For example, how an officer charges a particular offense a lot of times, and how an officer handles that offense can avoid a First Amendment problem or a First Amendment defense in a criminal charge. So big picture again, we found that the police procedures that have been adopted and that are in use are useful here and are serving in just the way they're supposed to. At the end of the day, again, what we're prepared to recommend is that the village replace the two statutory provisions and create an administrative process that would address the situation, which really just hasn't come up yet, but which we foresee here if in the case that somebody, not as on February 7th, but foreseeably could happen. If someone were to come to the village and just wanted to use your space, wanted to block a street, wanted to use space for a First Amendment demonstration, that we establish an administrative procedure that would streamline that would provide objective criteria, objective steps, a process for how, if someone wants to conduct a demonstration in a public street or on a sidewalk or on a public facility somewhere, would assign responsibility to the various responsible areas and officials within the village to evaluate. Normally in municipalities where we have this, somebody who wants to get a permit for something like this stops first with the fire department, then goes to the police department, and each evaluate based on their own criteria how it could be done, and perhaps if it can be done. We've had conversations with the law director, with the chief, with the assistant chief about how that could work, and we're prepared, and we think it would be a relatively straightforward process to create that process. It would mitigate it. It wouldn't be at the level of these wouldn't be ordinances. They in that respect they'd be a little bit more flexible. They'd be implemented by the officials that you have in place under criteria that we would establish there.
Would you suggest that be in our administrative code, or rather than you're saying not in an ordinance?
I don't think it would be that it's necessary that it become part of the code of ordinances. The administrative code would be a good place to put it. Exactly. Yes. We would not be inventing the wheel here. There are lots of existing models that we could use in order to provide one that works for the village. One area of law that I'll conclude with here which sort of overhung this analysis, which perhaps doesn't relate directly to the First Amendment issues that we've all talked about over the months that we've been working with the village. That relates to the Second Amendment, to one of the aspects of the demonstration that took place on February 7, 2025, was the fact that demonstrators showed up open carrying weapons. This is an issue that this isn't, you're not the first municipality to face an incident of this type. Fortunately, there was no issue. There was no problem arose. But we considered closely the question of what could be done. What is the law on this subject, and is it appropriate? Is a municipality like Evendale empowered to implement separate regulations, to come up with your own ideas about how you can restrict, how you can eliminate, how you can restrict or regulate carrying of weapons, or how you can provide separate measures for safety. And frankly, the news on that subject is that there are other higher levels of government that are addressing this subject of law and that have other ideas. The trend between the Ohio legislature and between the United States Supreme Court is clear on this, and almost unequivocally, in every case that comes before them and every law that comes out of the legislature, the trend is to expand Second Amendment rights, specifically, I would say, with respect to open carrying of weapons. In fact, the Ohio Revised Code specifically operates to preempt an ordinance that a municipality would pass that in any way contravenes laws, either provisions of the Ohio Revised Code, provisions and rights established under the Ohio Constitution, and provisions as interpreted, provisions of the U.S. Constitution as interpreted by the U.S. Supreme Court. So our advice on that subject is that there is very little leeway. There's very little that this body could do, that the Village of Evendale could do, that should it contravene, should it enhance, should you do something that the state has not already done, you would thereby put yourself at risk of having a constitutional question on the Second Amendment issue. Again, the big picture, I'll just summarize to conclude here. Big picture, we found no dramatic bad news in a code of ordinances as broad and as aged as the one that you have. It's not surprising that we would want to update things every here and there. So the recommendations we've made, we don't consider to show big problems, but we do see some opportunities there, and we're prepared. As I said, we've made our recommendations to the chief and to the law director about how we can provide an enhanced administrative program if the council wishes to do that.
I understand there is a bill moving through the General Assembly to give law officers the right to ask for the names and addresses of anyone in a vehicle. Have you heard of that?
I'm not familiar with the bill.
The chief, I think, is familiar with it.
Yeah, I can speak to that just real briefly. And all it is pending legislation. It's a bill. It has not been passed by the legislature, but it was partially in response to February 7th, and that would empower law enforcement officers in the state of Ohio. If I stop a 15-passenger van for a legitimate reason, I have the ability now, or I would have the ability as a police officer, to demand an ID from everybody in that vehicle. Someone failing to comply with that could then be arrested. Okay. That is the pending legislation, and last I heard they were expecting it to get it passed this year, but...
Because we were criticized for not doing that at the fatal event. Okay, thank you. Anyone else?
And with that, I'll make one additional note, I should say. We were clear to note in our conversations with the law director and with the chief that the recommendations that we made here today and that we made previously, we don't think those are issues that relate to how the village and its police force handled the events on February 7th. We don't think any of the recommendations would change would change the way that was handled.
Anyone else have any other questions?
I've got just a quickie question. If I want to throw something out and see if you generally agree with it, is it your assessment that the rights of people to protest and exercise their First Amendment and the rights of the village to maintain peaceable assembly are fairly balanced in the general way our code is set up? Is that a fair statement?
I think in general it is. I think that what occurred on February 7th really was a demonstration of how it should be handled, how, people, look, the Constitution provides the right to speech, and it's very, very important to democracy, and it allows, for people to say things that may be displeasing to other people, but that doesn't mean that it's a violation of law. And it was handled well because in the situation that occurred here, they were able to create a buffer zone where both sides were able to speak their piece, and it remained peaceful. And they took charge of the traffic situations. We have been sensitive in working with Ms. Ryan with the idea that, we have to keep the public buildings open for access. We have to keep the highways open for people that transgress, to keep the city hall open or the village hall open. They cannot block that, and we're working with developing the kind of ordinances that may be necessary to make sure that that's provided. But the one important thing that I think that people have to realize is that there's a lot of speech that's said that we don't like to hear, but that's what makes America great.
I can't say any better. That's terrific. Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for advice. We'll take it to heart.
Thank you.
While we're on this subject, I'd like to read a personal statement into the record tonight, stating that we as a community are, as we approach the anniversary of a difficult day in our history, last February 7th, Aviation Way overpass at I-75 was a site of a despicable protest by neo-Nazis who targeted blacks, Jews, and other minorities with hate group rhetoric and symbols. And I want to express tonight again that, as I did then, my deep concern and empathy for those who were targeted and affected by the hateful act. Hate has no place in the hearts of our communities. Also tonight, I want to reaffirm Evendale's commitment to respecting the dignity of all individuals, regardless of race, religion, ethnicity, and other characteristics. We renounce hate in all of its forms and stand in solidarity with our friends, neighbors, and co-workers in Lincoln Heights and other nearby communities. We have before you tonight prepared this statement, and we will release it appropriately to the press who are inquiring or have inquired about things that we may or may not do for the anniversary of February 7th. Thank you. Okay. Now, let's go to the minutes have been previously distributed. Is there any additions, corrections, or changes?
We need to do the oath.
The judge is not here, so,
Yep.
All right.
Forget it. Okay. The minutes have previously been distributed. Is there any additions, corrections, or changes? If not, can I have a motion?
So moved?
Second?
Mr. Burke,
Yes.
Mr. Sextro,
Yes.
Ms. McDaniel.
Yes.
Mr. Stroh,
Yes.
Ms. Walker-Smith,
Yes.
Patterson.
Yes.
Okay, the minutes are approved. We're now down to committee reports, and the first one is Finance Committee. Councilman Burke.
Can you
Okay.
do the other one first?
Can you do the other one first, Mayor?
That was your clerk asking you that on the way by. If she needs a
Fire,
second
she
to,
wants fire and chief. or
she would like the fire and
and
police to go first. Do you have a problem with that?
Okay, let's take the fire and police first.
Thank you, Mayor.
Nobody told me, so what the heck?
The fire department would like to commemorate Lieutenant Paul Walbillig, who served between 61 and 89, who recently passed away. In addition, I want to thank Mike and the rest of the fire department. They had a request from the department in Kissimmee, Florida, to respond and respect one of their fallen officers, which they were able to go do. On a different, more practical note, they're going the fire department's going live with their data software conversion and is aiming for the 1st of February of this year. Fireman Green is going to be out 3 to 4 months with a hand injury. Both of their Christmas appeals for Toys or Tots and the holiday shop at Evendale Elementary met with resounding success. On the police front, you're going to have an ordinance before you tonight on the ability for us to charge $75 on Freedom of Information Act requests. This is particularly related to the request for body cam footage. Right now, it takes officers roughly the equivalent amount of time to redact a video as it is to the amount of time for the video to play. So a 15-minute video, 15 minutes of redaction. It is a huge personnel cost, and the time involved in keeping up with these is significant. More importantly, media outlets are sending wholesale requests for big blocks of video related to certain violent crimes and things that are have some sort of appeal on television. So this problem is going to get worse and worse and worse. So you're going to see that on an ordinance. And on finally, both of our cadets who are in training at various stages are doing well and continuing to proceed through the police academy. Cultural arts, wine tasting, pottery parties, and the Tri-State Players during the holidays did incredibly well. New sessions are available to sign up now, particularly art ventures and wine tastings. The construction on the elevator at the Cultural Arts Center is proceeding, and James is going to hate me for this, but there was a mention of a date that it's going to be finished mid-June, so we'll see. Finally, we're looking at partnering with NKU to have their interns work on the historical exhibit for our 75th anniversary later this year. On the Planning Commission side, we're going to have an ordinance next week, have a public hearing next week on solar panels. Mark has done a bunch of research on how best to introduce the regulation of solar panels throughout our communities. If you are interested in that, please come at 6 o'clock next Tuesday night. Dan Bly and Bill Knight are taking over for Don Mercer, as we talked about last month. The CRA is moving forward. You'll hear more about that from Dave Elmer and Mark Elma next month. They're getting some filings ready with the school board and others, in other places. Finally, Mary Cleveland, who is a past president of the Princeton School District and just a great person. I cannot say enough good things about her involvement and help in various things that we went through the last year. She was sworn in over the weekend as the president of the School Boards of Ohio, and just hats off to her. That's a terrific achievement on her part. And then finally, when you come into the lobby, there's a new announcement board that you can find out what's going on. Actually look up, it'll tell you neat stuff. That's all, Mr. Mayor.
I went to the swearing-in ceremony, as did Councilperson Wanda Walker-Smith, and it was a great event, very well attended, very well done. It was in conjunction with a lot going on in the Matthews Auditorium in the school building. It was a really exciting day to be there. The chief has noted that the ordinance to charge for body cam stuff is being challenged in the Ohio Supreme Court by the Columbus Dispatch. Councilman Burke.
All right, okay. Finance Committee, Finance Update. Village results, December receipts total $1.8 million and expenditures were $1.5 million, resulting in an increase of funds by $300,000. Year-to-date receipts totaled $25.1 with expenditures of $24.8, which was expected. It results in an overall increase of funds by $300,000 also for the year as well. Two ordinances, annual transfer ordinance and then and now will be coming up in just a few minutes. Then Gorman Heritage Farm, they have hired a new director, Ryan Mooney Bullock, and we'll start on mid-February, sorry. So about a month away. Recreation, Mr. Knight reported December activity was strong with many participants working on maintenance on gym equipment, and they apologize for some of the delays, but getting some of the parts has been taking some time. 75th anniversary celebration, week of September 19th, so please mark your calendars for that date, September 19th. Photo exhibits at the pool, display artifacts, and CF Payne artwork, 75th book, and elevator completion, and fireworks and the concerts. Surface engineer Mr. Jeffers updated the committee on equipment maintenance and the snow effects and the volume of salt that we've used so far this year. New generator for the fire department is in, but not working efficiently, and he is addressing that with the contractors. Elevator has started, as Chris mentioned, and also has a date of mid-June, so we are both in trouble if it doesn't happen. New building updates continue to be organized, and April 18th will be Voice of America recycling event, so please mark your calendar. It'll be in the morning of the 18th. And then starting to evaluate the campus for alarms, cameras, and with Silco. And then CAC feasibility study is being considered by the CAC committee. And Aerial Hub sign construction bids were rejected by the ordinance of the council meeting, or at the council meeting, and we're looking at other alternatives at this point.
We're gonna turn them down.
What?
We haven't turned them down
We haven't
yet.
turned them down, okay.
Gonna turn them down.
Going to turn them down yet tonight. And then pre-construction meeting held with the water feature and rec center. They're looking at doing a water feature in front of the administration building instead of in front of the center of the, by the pool and rec center, because of the anticipated possible reconstruction of the fire department. And Metro Layer Station update, grant was awarded and located in front of Menards and will include cameras, so that is progressing. That's all I have on my report.
Anybody have any questions, objections? Okay, that'll constitute the Finance Committee report. I have nothing this month other than what I've said already. And we'll go to ordinances and resolutions. The first ordinance on the agenda is ordinance 2601, and I ask for permission to read it by title only.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Sextro.
Yes.
Mr. Patterson. Ms. Walker-Smith.
Yes.
Mr. Stroh.
Yes.
Ms. McDaniel.
Yes.
Mr. Burke.
Yes.
Ordinance approving the transfer of funds from the general and Aero Hub TIF fund to various other funds and declaring it as an emergency. I need a motion to suspend the second and third reading of the ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Patterson. Ms. Walker-Smith.
Yes.
Mr. Stroh.
Yes.
Ms. McDaniel.
Yes.
Mr. Sextro.
Yes.
Mr. Burke.
Yes.
And I need a motion to adopt the emergency clause of the ordinance.
Moved.
Second.
Mr. Burke.
Yes.
Mr. Sextro.
Yes.
Ms. McDaniel. Ms. Walker-Smith.
Yes.
Mr. Stroh.
Yes.
Mr. Patterson.
Yes.
And I need to adopt the ordinance as an emergency.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Sextro.
Yes.
Ms. Walker-Smith.
Yes.
Mr. Stroh.
Yes.
Mr. Patterson. Ms. McDaniel.
Yes.
Mr. Burke.
Yes.
I now declare ordinance 26-01 adopted as an emergency. Next is ordinance 26-02. I need permission to read it by title only.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Burke.
Yes.
Mr. Stroh.
Yes.
Ms. Walker-Smith.
Yes.
Mr. Patterson. Ms. McDaniel.
Yes.
Mr. Sextro.
Yes.
An ordinance authorizing the payment of amounts due upon certain contracts requiring certification of availability of funds and declaring it as an emergency. This is our then and now ordinance. I'd like to suspend the second and third reading of the ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Patterson. Mr. Sextro.
Yes.
Ms. Walker Smith.
Yes.
Mr. Stroh.
Yes.
Ms. McDaniel.
Yes.
Mr. Burke.
Yes.
Now I need a motion to adopt the emergency clause of the ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Burke.
Yes.
Ms. Walker Smith.
Yes.
Mr. Stroh.
Yes.
Mr. Patterson. Ms. McDaniel.
Yes.
Mr. Sextro.
Yes.
Now I need a motion to adopt the ordinance as an emergency.
So moved. Second.
Was that Mr. Stroh?
Yes.
Mr. Stroh.
Yes.
Mr. Patterson.
Yes.
Ms. Walker Smith.
Yes.
McDaniel.
Yes.
Mr. Sextro.
Yes.
Mr. Burke.
Yes.
I now declare ordinance 2602 adopted as an emergency. Next is ordinance 2603. I need permission to read it by title only.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Burke.
Yes.
Mr. Stroh.
Yes.
Ms. Walker Smith.
Yes.
Mr. Patterson.
Yes.
Ms. McDaniel.
Yes.
Mr. Sextro.
Yes.
An ordinance rejecting all bids on the Arrow Hub entry signage project and declaring it as an emergency. They just came in out of the ballpark, and we just can't take them. I'd like a motion to suspend the second and third reading of the ordinance.
Moved.
Second.
Mr. Burke.
Yes.
Mr. Sextro.
Yes.
Ms. Walker Smith.
Yes.
Mr. Stroh.
Yes.
Mr. Patterson. Ms. McDaniel.
Yes.
Now I need a motion to adopt the emergency clause of the ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Patterson. Ms. Walker Smith.
Yes.
Mr. Stroh.
Yes.
Ms. McDaniel.
Yes.
Mr. Sextro.
Yes.
Mr. Burke.
Yes.
Now a motion to adopt the ordinance as an emergency.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Burke.
Yes.
Mr. Patterson. Ms. Walker Smith.
Yes.
Mr. Stroh.
Yes.
Ms. McDaniel.
Yes.
Mr. Sextro.
Yes.
Now declare ordinance 26-03 adopted as an emergency. Next is ordinance 2604, and I'd like to read it, permission to read it by title only.
Mayor, can I ask, so what happens if we pass this and the state comes back and prevents it?
If it's declared unconstitutional, it just never goes into effect.
Okay.
We can't collect it.
Yep. Okay. So moved.
Second.
Mr. Stroh.
Yes.
Mr. Patterson. Ms. Walker Smith.
Yes.
Ms. McDaniel.
Yes.
Mr. Sextro.
Yes.
Mr. Burke.
Yes.
Now I'd like a motion to adopt the emergency clause of the ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Sextro.
Yes.
Ms. Walker Smith.
Yes.
Mr. Stroh.
Yes.
Mr. Patterson. Ms. McDaniel.
Yes.
Mr. Burke.
Yes.
Now a motion to adopt the ordinance as an emergency.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Burke.
Yes.
Mr. Stroh.
Yes.
Ms. Walker Smith.
Yes.
Mr. Patterson. Ms. McDaniel.
Yes.
Mr. Sextro.
Yes.
And now declare ordinance 2604 adopted as an emergency.
Please do. Just make a motion to adopt it as an emergency. You have one more to go.
Motion to adopt the ordinance as an emergency.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Stroh.
Yes.
Mr. Sextro.
Yes.
Ms. Walker Smith.
Yes.
Mr. Patterson. Ms. McDaniel.
Yes.
Mr. Burke.
Yes.
Now declare ordinance 2604 adopted as an emergency. I thank you all for your patience tonight. I thought it was very important, considering all the stuff about property taxes is going on today, that the auditor have an opportunity to speak to us tonight. I thought she did a good job of explaining how real estate property taxes work. And now you can all go home and look at your tax bill, and maybe you'll understand how they work. I will, anybody have anything else to add?
I just thank you for arranging the tour for us for Formica plant.
Yeah, it was a good tour.
Very interesting. What really was exciting is they started the facility production in 1951, which is the same year so they've been in that building for
75 years.
75 years like us, so.
And the entry rooms and all that reception area, that's new since the last time I went through that building. It's all new, and,
That building that we went in,
yeah,
that was, they said it was done in the late 50s.
really?
Yeah.
Well,
It's been
like
redone
Where
they
multiple
toured.
times, but the structure of the
wasn't
building.
like tonight. Yeah, that was good. Okay, I'll accept the motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Stroh.
Yes.
Mr. Sextro.
Yes.
Ms. McDaniel. Oh,
Yes.
Ms. McDaniel. Ms.
Yes.
Walker Smith.
Yes.
Mr. Patterson?
Yes.
Mr. Burke?
Yes.
Council's adjourned.